On December 5, 1872, the British vessel Dei Gratia was cutting through the Atlantic when its crew spotted something deeply unsettling. Ahead of them was a massive sailing ship, drifting erratically on the open waves. Captain David Morehouse immediately recognized the vessel. It was the Mary Celeste, but it was completely unresponsive to his signals and entirely off course. The Mary Celeste had departed for Genoa, Italy, 8 full days earlier. Finding her wandering silently in this specific stretch of water broke every expectation of their timeline. Out on the open ocean, a seaworthy ship moving without direction is an immediate distress flare. It defies the basic logic of shipping and signals a catastrophic failure on board. When Morehouse sent a boarding party, they found a complete void. 10 people were simply gone. That included the ship's captain, Benjamin Briggs, his wife Sarah, their 2-year-old daughter Sophia, and 7 crew members. Below deck, however, there was no sign of a desperate evacuation. The ship was fully stocked, with a 6-month supply of food and fresh water perfectly preserved. This chart compares standard maritime wages of the era to the cargo sitting below deck. The hold was packed with industrial alcohol, valued at roughly $35,000. For a working sailor in 1872, leaving behind a fortune of that magnitude defies all logic. The boarding party scoured every inch of the vessel. They found 0 physical evidence of a struggle, no ransacked cabins, and absolutely no signs of piracy or mutiny. With no physical evidence of violence, the state of the ship ruled out a simple struggle. It was a locked room mystery, floating in the middle of the Atlantic. At the time, suspicion quickly turned toward the man who found the ship. The prevailing theory suggested Captain Morehouse murdered his friend and the crew to exploit a financial loophole. Under maritime salvage laws, bringing an abandoned vessel into port guaranteed a massive payout, but financial data dismantled that theory. Morehouse received an $8,000 salvage fee. A pirate executing 10 people wouldn't leave behind the $35,000 cargo sitting below deck. Since the numbers don't support a motive of simple greed, we have to look deeper into the history of the ship itself to find the source of the disaster. To understand the disappearance, we have to look backward. Years earlier, the ship was originally built and christened under a different name, the Amazon. From its earliest voyages, the ship hosted bizarre medical anomalies. Its very first master, Robert McClellan, fell violently ill and died on board after coughing up large amounts of blood. Captains who succeeded McClellan developed the exact same bloody respiratory illness. The symptoms only surfaced when the men were actively sailing on this specific ship. This lethal reputation created severe economic consequences. The ship repeatedly bankrupted its owners, was sold off for pennies, and was ultimately rebranded as the Mary Celeste in an attempt to scrub its deadly past. The 1872 disappearance was the climax of a deeply ingrained systemic curse tied to the very timber of the hull. Moving past the disappearance, the Mary Celeste sat rotting at the docks for 6 years, rendered completely unsellable by its paranormal infamy. Eventually, a man named Captain John Parker purchased the decayed ship for a fraction of its cost, planning a massive insurance fraud scheme. Parker loaded the hold with worthless scrap, took out a fraudulent $30,000 insurance policy, and intentionally set the vessel on fire. The plot failed immediately. The insurance company investigated the charred wreckage, denied the claim entirely, and brought heavy fraud charges against Parker. The aftermath for the perpetrators was gruesome. Parker spent his last dime fighting the charges before dying bankrupt and diseased. His first partner succumbed to insanity, and the other committed suicide. Even in its deliberate destruction, the wreckage managed to completely dismantle the lives and finances of the last 3 men who tried to exploit it. This timeline tracks the vessel's historical ledger. From the Amazon to the Mary Celeste, every owner faced illness, financial collapse, insanity, or death. The one glaring exception, Captain Morehouse walked away safely with his salvage fee because he never signed the deed. This leaves a chilling dichotomy. We have to ask if this was a genuine paranormal phenomenon or an extraordinary string of tragic coincidences driven by human greed. But regardless of your stance on ghosts, the Mary Celeste remains the deadliest financial asset in naval history. It stands as a stark warning that some abandoned things are better left untouched.